Hi guys, it's Kim from Winter and Sparrow. I'm here to talk about what's been going on with me and where I've been. Actually, I'm here to talk about stress and weight gain. So, what's been going on with me? Well, in the last couple months, we had to have our cat put to sleep because of his cancer. Um, My grandmother, my last living grandparent, passed away right after Thanksgiving. And then the day before my mom was going to go out of state to her funeral, she was in a uh, tragic freak accident. Now, she survived, you guys, but this accident was so crazy that it made the local news here in Richmond. Now, I'm not going to go into detail. I want to, protect my mom's privacy, but let's just say I got a call from my uncle saying, your mom's in a bad way. You need to come sign, I think he said like next of kin papers or whatever. Totally freaked me out. So thankfully, my mom lives not far from me. So I pulled up, and there were literally 15 fire trucks and about 6 police cars, and the entire block was cordoned off with crime scene tape, and I didn't see my mom anywhere. It really did look like a crime scene. I had no idea if my mom was alive or not. So it took over an hour, probably 2 hours, for her to get rescued. And then she had to go to the hospital, and no one could tell me what her status was. And when I say that was a stressful night, that was a stressful night. That I felt like I aged 20 years. But anyway, so my mom survived. She's got a bit of nerve damage. But after that, she couldn't walk very well, so I had to go over to my parents' house and, pretty much take care of both of my parents. And my father's ill, and take care of their pets. And that was in addition to everything else that was going on. So because my mom injured herself, she couldn't go out of town to her own mother's funeral, which was horrible. But then a couple days after that, I found out that one of my best friend's husbands passed away. And then a acquaintance of mine that I really cared about, really meant a lot to me, that I met in my 20s, I found out he unexpectedly passed away. And then I found out my aunt, who's struggling with dementia, she's in the hospital. And then if you're a fan or if you follow us on Facebook, you know that Garfield, our orange cat, recently died. I found him dead in one of our rooms. It was a total shocker to find him dead. We've had him for over 10 years. And he came to us because his former owners moved out and left him behind. People who do that just suck, but that's how he came to be our cat. And if you're a pet lover and you're watching this, you know that pets are like family, and our 2 cats that passed away were like family. And of course, with the other losses, it was a bunch of stress all at once. A lot of stress. There was a lot of change in routine. And why am I talking about the stress? Because the stress pretty much threw all of my normal eating routines out the window. After funerals, there's often a lot of food, and my mom's accident pretty much, excuse me while I get more comfortable. My mom's accident pretty much just pushed me over the edge, and after a while, after so much stress all at once, you kind of feel like you're in a fog. Can you relate? Well, that's kind of how I felt. I felt like I was walking around in a fog. And in this fog, I wasn't keeping track of how I was eating. You know, I was eating out more. People were offering me cake. I was accepting it. I was grabbing candy here and there. I wasn't measuring my food. And next thing you know, after the fog starts to lift and your loved ones have been buried, and I get on the scale and I realize that I've gained 2 pounds. By the way, if you don't like the taste of plain water, Mandarin Orange Propel is the bomb, y'all. It's awesome. It helps me get my water down. Anyway, yeah, that was random. But I gained 2 pounds. Now, 2 pounds may not sound like a lot, and you'd be like, why is she freaking out about 2 pounds? Well, I'm not freaking out. It's just I'm cautious because we all know that weight gain is kind of like a snowball effect. Once you put on 2 pounds, who's to say that that 2 pounds doesn't turn into 5 pounds, which doesn't turn into 20 and 30? I want to nip it in the bud. Now, and this is my first weight gain after the surgery. For those of you that don't know, I had my surgery in June of 2017, so it'll be 2 years in June of this year. And I've lost a total of 100 pounds, but I put on 2 pounds. Now, yes, 2 pounds is a big deal because I don't ever want to look like this girl again. Let me show you. This is my passport photo from, let's see, this is probably 2016, right before I decided that I was going to look into gastric sleeve surgery. It's about the same year. This is my passport photo. Take a look. Yes. Before, after, before, after. Don't ever want to look like this girl again. This girl was uncomfortable in her own skin. All of that excess weight exacerbated all of my medical conditions: arthritis, fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis. Of course, I didn't know just how much until I lost all the weight, but yes, the excess weight was definitely exacerbating things. But this is my passport photo. This is why I am going to do something about those 2 pounds, because I do not want to look like her again. You know, face before, face after. Nope. So what am I doing about those 2 pounds? Is now that I'm kind of out of the stressful fog, so to speak, is I'm back to eating the majority of my meals at home, or meals that have been made at home, so I know what I'm eating. I'm back to measuring my food. I'm back to not eating out as much. Also, I'm keeping a food diary. And a food diary is pretty much how I found out that I was eating more sweets than I realized. I'm not sure what prompted me to start a food diary, as I haven't done a food diary since right after my surgery, but it was probably all those hours of sitting in hospital rooms and waiting rooms and other places, as I just started a food diary on my phone. And I realized that I was eating way more chocolate and sweets than I thought. And chocolate is my kryptonite. And when the shit hits the fan, when chaos reigns supreme, that's what I want to turn to, is chocolate. And that's what I did, and that's how I put on 2 pounds. So it wasn't until I started a food diary that I found out. So if you're gaining weight and you're not too sure what's up, start a food diary. and jot down every little thing that you eat, including those bites here and there, because those are the extra calories. And, I could have said no to that cake. I could have not grabbed those Swedish fish candies. But when you're stressed out, when you're sad, when you're overwhelmed, you just turn to what's comforting. You just want to be home in bed and binge Netflix and eat junk. And I think one night that's what I did. And it felt good. And I knew it wasn't a good thing to do, but it's what I needed. But that food diary helped me, realize that the weight was coming from all those little extras that I was eating. So, the other thing I'm doing is, of course, I'm not buying any chocolates, but if there's anything in the house, chocolate or junk food or whatever, I'm just keeping it out of my sight and practicing restraint. And I'm also, this picture, I have a few more just like it scattered around the house. I have one on the fridge. This one I keep in my room. And these are, for me, these are big deterrents for grabbing that chocolate bar. Why? Because literally, I keep telling myself I'm 1 or 2 chocolate bars away from looking like this girl again. I mean, not really, but hey, if that's how I have to talk to myself to not eat the dang chocolate, then that's what I gotta tell myself. But pictures of the old me are good deterrents for not eating the stuff I shouldn't be. The other thing is I slacked off on exercise during all of the chaos. I mean, who the heck had time for exercise? I was running around taking care of, everybody else, or, just plain old sad where I didn't want to do anything. So I slacked off on exercise. So I'm back to exercising regularly, which for me is resistance bands and yoga and some walking. And since I put on the 2 pounds, I've lost one of the pounds, which is good. And to help the last pound come off, because, once you reach this point, once you're in a normal weight range, which I still am, it's harder to take the weight off than it is at the beginning, After gastric sleeve, right at the beginning, heck, the weight falls off just by breathing. But now that I'm in a normal weight range, it's hard to get that weight off. So that pound is coming off because I have added an additional protein shake for my diet. In other words, breakfast is a protein shake. Lunch might be, regular food, of course, all measured, and then dinner might be a protein shake. And then I'm limiting my snacking and measuring everything. So that's how I'm going to take off that extra pound, is by substituting one of my meals with the protein shake. Now, had I not caught my weight gain at 2 pounds, let's say, for instance, that more crap was happening, or I didn't come out of the fog that I was in, that I walked around in. Let's say I put on 2 pounds or 10 pounds. For me personally, if I reached the 10-pound mark, I would probably try to get it off by going on the liver shrinking diet. Now, once again, this isn't medical advice. I'm just telling you what I would do. If I had put on 10 pounds, I'd go back on the liver shrinking diet. And if you're interested, just Google liver shrinking diet and you'll be able to find what it's all about. But it's basically a shake for breakfast, a shake for lunch, and then dinner is lean meat and unlimited vegetables, and then 2 snacks. But, liver shrinking diet really isn't fun. I mean, you don't feel hungry. It's just very restrictive. And I really don't want to have to go that way. But if you're watching this and you put on 10 pounds, you might want to ask your doctor about, hey, is it okay for me to go back on the liver shrinking diet? Or they also call it the pouch reset diet. But I'm not going there. If this pound doesn't come off, I might take out a snack or something, but I should be able to get this extra pound off. So, the other thing I'm doing, of course, is being more mindful. They tell you before gastric sleeve, don't eat while you're watching TV or doing something else because they want you to be aware of how much you're eating. And when, people were passing away and cats were dying and other things were going on, eating on the go, you're not paying attention to what you're eating. Now, my stomach, of course, I still get full very easily, but I definitely didn't eat the proper portions. I probably ate a bit more. And, that definitely contributed to some of the weight gain. So, food diary, pictures of how you used to look and how you never want to look again, being mindful, and replacing one of your meals with a shake will definitely help you get off those extra pounds. Also, after I got done beating myself up about the 2 pounds, was I decided to give myself a bit of grace. I'm human, I'm imperfect, I don't handle everything well. I mean, anyway, how do you handle multiple deaths well? There's no such thing. I mean, your loved ones die, it's traumatic. What do? You just do the best you can. For those of you that don't know, before I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, I was a mental health therapist for over a decade. So, I kind of know a little bit about what I'm talking about there, just a little bit. It's okay to feel the trauma and the stress and to maybe not handle things so well. The key is not allowing that pattern to continue. And, I allowed myself time to grieve, and part of that grieving process was me walking around in that fog and just eating whatever and taking the pieces of cake because I just wanted the path of least resistance. If everything else was so chaotic, I wanted food to be smooth. I wanted food to taste good, and I just wanted something to comfort me. So, life is hard. We all need to be kinder to ourselves. That's all I'm saying. So, no matter where you are in your journey, I hope you remember that. Just be good to yourself. We're all imperfect, and we could all be kinder to ourselves and each other. So, hey, thank you for coming to my TED Talk today. No. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing, where I've been. And if you have any questions or need clarification, drop me a comment. And please, I hope you subscribe. And for my next video, I'm thinking about doing an example of what I eat in a day. Now, that will be interesting because number one, I'm allergic to seafood. And number two, I'm not a big meat eater. But for those of you who are wondering what it's like in the day of a gastric sleeve patient, what kind of menu we eat, that might be interesting for some of you. It may give you some ideas. So I'm thinking that might be my next video. What do y'all think? Let me know. And if you have any suggestions for videos, let me know also. And did I mention how awesome this Mandarin Orange Propel is? It sure beats plain water. Oh my God, this is epic. Epic. I love it. No calories. So this helps me get my water in. So anyway, I'm so glad to be out of the fog. Fingers crossed. Nothing else bad happens. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And y'all take care of yourselves. Bye.